Okay, I think I'm live. Hey, my intro needs a little bit of work. My daughter did it for me. She did a great job. Also, um, that's my first time putting it on, so we just got to get it to where it goes widescreen. So, hey, I'm just joining y'all today. How y'all doing today, Cowboy Nation? Um, Hopefully, some of y'all can join me live. If not, then y'all catch it on the replay. But I was kind of compelled to get on today because I've been hearing a lot of Max Crosby talk, and as far as the Cowboys, picking him up, and a lot of you guys know that I was a big "Hey, let's go get Max Crosby" fan um, last year, but it didn't come to fruition, and we got Williams, and that was a great acquisition also. But I thought that Max would have did a sufficient job of replacing Micah Parsons' production, and he actually is probably better against the run than Micah Parsons. And he's the thing I think a lot of people kept hearing about was his age, which his age never bothered me because he was 28 years old. I mean, he's only like 3 years older than Micah. Uh, it, a pass rusher can probably play in this game until he's 32, 33 years old. So looked at I never looked at that as being an issue. Oh, for 1 second. Sorry about that. The dog's barking. I never thought about his age being an issue. I just know that he has a motor, and I think that's contagious. I thought that would have helped. I think I think what we really missed, if you go back and look at it, was a way to get to the quarterback from the outside. We had the inside presence with our defensive tackles, but the outside is where we lacked. A lot of our guys were, grade two, grade three level pass rushers, and we kind of needed that one guy that could um, take all the pressure on their side, and then have our other guys just kind of running, free or whatever. So that never really happened last year. And I think when you start looking at our passing game, how it was affected, yes, our cornerbacks and our safeties we need better one of those. But the thing is that the quarterback had all day to throw the ball. We just could not get pressure on the quarterback, which exposed our lack of safety talent and exposed our depth at cornerback. So the question I think has been asking, do we trade for Max Crosby? And I think that I would say yes, we would. Now, it depends on what they're asking for, because I'm not trying to go and give up the farm to get Max Crosby. It can't be what Green Bay gave up. The reason why I say that is because you're talking about Michael Parsons, who's probably the best young pass rusher in the league, maybe the best pass rusher in the league in his prime, being on the market. For one, that really never happens, right? A top-notch quarterback never goes on the market. A top-notch young defensive end with the productivity that Micah has never goes to the market. And I'll tell you something about that too. You're probably never going to see it really again. A 25-year-old pass, a double-digit sack guy being on the market, it just doesn't happen. And there's a reason it doesn't happen, because you're really supposed to lock those guys down. But I digress. Um, so it can't be that, right? It can't be two first-round draft picks, right? Because Max is older than him, and so it has to be one. And I really don't want to give up our 12th pick. I'd rather give up our 20th pick. Now, if it's 20th pick and some other things thrown in, then I can understand that, right? Like maybe a fourth or fifth or next year's draft pick or whatever. I can understand that, but I definitely do not want to give up two first round draft picks. I think that's a little rich. But I think some people don't want to trade anything for them, right? Like they want to keep their draft picks. And I would tell you, I've been saying this for a while, ever since I started my channel. Our window is Dak Prescott, y'all. Do not get too spoiled, because we are. Let me just be honest with you. got Tony Romo, Pro Bowl level quarterback, as an unrestricted, a UDFA, free agent, undrafted free agent, right? And he gave us many a Pro Bowl seasons. Now, we never built around him properly, so he never took us to where we were supposed to go. Well, we didn't even have a fall off from that. We got Dak Prescott in the 4th round. So what we've gotten over the last 18 years, y'all, I want y'all to think about this. We've had 18 years of a Pro Bowl quarterback play. And so we're used to getting that. Go ask Cleveland how that's working. Go ask New York Giants how that's working. Like, we've been blessed to have two. I mean, if somebody was to, anybody out there listening to me or gonna listen to this later, if I was to promise you 17 years of Pro Bowl quarterback play, and all you have to do is build the rest of the team, I think any one of us watching this channel right now, or a lot of content creators, or just some people out there that's passionate about this game, you can build a team good enough to get to the NFC Championship game. But we hadn't done that. Again, if y'all think that Dak Prescott and Tony Romo's grow on trees, go ask Cleveland. They don't. So what we have to do is Dak, and quarterbacks are playing a little bit longer. So I think Dak may be 32. So I can see him playing 3 years. Say we're in the Super Bowl or scratching on it, then they'll extend him so it could be more years. But we have to do things right now, man. We don't have time to, like, this is what so this is why I have an issue with people that are draft geeks. And it is a place for us to know about the draft. We all should know about the players coming up and this, that, and the other. But some people get so involved in the draft that they would never trade a draft pick for a player. It just, I don't know. Why would you do that when you got these young prospects coming up? They just cannot wrap themselves around the fact that because they value the draft pick so much, they would not trade it for a proven player. But do you have time to just say draft Baines and wait for him to develop? Do we have time for that? Like, if the window is 3 years, how do we even know Baines is going to be a good defensive end, right? We don't even know that. So my thought process is, and the Cowboys have done this. They've done it for a different reason. They really are more, I tell people every year, watch out for the Cowboys in the trade market. We do way more trading for elite talent than we do drafting elite talent, or using free agency for elite talent. So look out for the trade market. Well, that's where Maxx Crosby is. He's in the trade market. But so I just think that our window is Dak Prescott, which is 2 or 3 years, and we need to be assembling a team right now that can compete next year. Whether it's defense, offensive linemen, whatever we need to get, we need to be all in. And speaking of all in, so one of the things about the draft is it's kind of this hope springs eternal type thing, right? It's that thing to where, like, it's so hopeful in the draft. Everybody in the draft are just, hey, we got this player, he's going to be this, he's going to be that, and it's hope, and we feel good about that, right? But that's always a future, like, thing. Like, when are we going to, as fans, say, no, now is the time, man? Like, we need to name me a time in the last 30 years that we've said, now is the time, let's put all our chips in. We have not done that. We've been pushing it down the road, saying, okay, yeah, we traded Micah, for example, we got these draft picks. That's future. Don't let the Joneses continue to sell you the future, because you could never win a Super Bowl in the future. You got to win it now. So what are you putting on the field now? And so the draft is going to be helpful, especially if you got a guy like Caleb Downs that falls to us or something like that. But if it's the 20th pick for Maxx Crosby, you got to make that move. What you're going to get, you're going to get a guy that has the same production as Micah Parsons for a fraction of the money. You're going to take on his contract. But I mean, if you're going to get a 13 to 14 sack guy, a guy with a motor like that, a guy that's passionate about the game, a guy that plays the run as good as he does rush, you get him for 3 years. If you get 3 years out this guy, man, in Dak's prime, man, that'll be so. Now you're looking at a line that has Quentin Williams, you got Clark, You got Clowney on one side, and then you got Maxx Crosby on the other side. Man, you got that line is ready to go, man. That line, if you get that line, if you put that line out on the field, you're talking about, I don't know who has a better defensive line than that on paper. Now, if you attack the linebacker and the safeties in the safety position in the draft and in free agency, I mean, you can put a defense out there, man, that could be top 15. That's all you really need, right? With this offense, that's all you really need is a top 15 defense, man. That's somebody that, when was the last time, I watched a lot of playoff games this year, and I've seen low scores in the playoff game. And when was the last time we won the game 17-13 or 17, you know what I'm saying, something like that? No, all our games, 35-28 and stuff like that. Man, we got to be able to. When was the last time the defense won the game? I'm not talking about winning the game like getting a turnover at the end. I'm talking about shutting people down. I'm talking about the team can't do anything. They can't run, they can't pass. You know what I'm saying? So we hadn't done that in a while, but we have, and partly of that is because all our resources are on our offense. We don't put resources on defense. We put all our resources on offense. But the one good thing I can tell y'all, man, that came from the Michael Parsons trade is this. Jerry will be hell-bent on proving himself right and Michael wrong. And while he's hell-bent on doing that, we may be the recipient of that, right? By him getting his team right. If you notice, the Quentin Williams trade was made after Michael Parsons won Defensive Player of the Month, and we had the dead last ranked defense in the league. That was embarrassing. And at that point in time, you could look at it and say, this trade was a failure for Jerry, right? And Jerry didn't like that. And so he had to go and get Quentin Williams. And guess what? Sometimes you have to be embarrassed in yourself. So that's what it was. He was embarrassed into it. I don't care how he gets there, long as he gets there. But back to Maxx Crosby, man. If they're talking the 20th pick, right, and some future draft picks, let's do that, y'all. We got to be on board with that. We cannot wait 2 or 3 years for a guy to develop, man. Izaraku was a 16-sack guy in college. How many did he get in pros? He got 2. So you cannot just say, hey, this guy here was great in college, so he's going to be great in pros. It don't work that way. He has to come in and learn. He's going against left tackles that's way better than what he had in college. He's not playing against, South Carolina upside down state. He's playing against, NFL guys that's getting paid millions of dollars to block. And that's a different animal. So what I'm saying is, hey, guess what? In 3 years, this guy Izaraku might be a double-digit sack guy. But we don't have 3 years. Our offense is ready to win now. We're getting the coaching staff ready to win now. Now, Eberflus was a bad coach. But let me tell you something. We didn't give him anything to play with. And I've often told content creators this. We went into the season on defense without a first-round draft pick playing on defense. They were all on offense. And we wonder why our offense is number one. Well, we put resources into it. You got to put resources into your defense too. The problem is that 57s, 51s, 96s, jerseys don't sell as good as 4s, 21s, 88s. It don't sell as good as those. So we like to get those guys. Those things are flashy. And I'll tell you this again too. One of the things, I'm drifting all over the place. What I noticed too, and content creators can tell you the same thing. I told them the same thing when I called into their shows. You have to build your team for inclement weather, which I think our offense was with Javonte this year. But your defense too. All that passing, we got those 2 wide receivers. That's great. But if you have to go to Green Bay in January, all that 300 yards ain't gonna work. It's gonna be a 112-yard passing game, running game, playing defense, turnovers. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be old-fashioned football. So my video here is to say that, I understand about the future, but when is the future gonna be now? Maxx Crosby is a now move. So we have an opportunity to go get him, especially if Philadelphia is thinking about getting him. We can't let that happen, y'all. We definitely got to go get him if Philadelphia going to get him. We can't just sit there and twiddle our thumbs. We got to be aggressive. Hey, another thing, we can't wait for the phone to ring, which I don't think they do anyway. I think that's just something Jerry says. Some of these moves, no, the Jets didn't call him on Quentin Williams. He called the Jets. So let's just get that out the way. That sounds real cool for him to say. But in the end, he doesn't do that. He has to make some of these phone calls. That's all it is to it. Sorry about that. So I think that may be it. The coaching staff, since I hadn't updated y'all, I love the coaching staff, what they're getting together. And hopefully, people be patient with them. This is his first time calling games. Hold on for 1 second. This is his first time calling games. So he might have a couple of rough spots, but he's put his coaching staff together. Hopefully they just have some accountability over there on that side. Whereas people, we need somebody to chew on somebody on the sideline a few times, man. We don't need to let guys come off making bad mistakes. We pat them on the back. It's enough of that. Jobs are at stake. So hold on for 1 second. I think I'm gonna have to get off. Yeah, so jobs are at stake, defensive jobs and everything else. So hopefully, I'm going to get off right now because I have to make a phone call. And anybody that sees this later or is watching now, look like some people are watching right now. I appreciate y'all watching. I got 15 people watching right now. I just had that to get off about Crosby. We need to get him now if we can. Don't let somebody else get him. He's disgruntled. Bring him on home to Dallas, and then we're going to go from there. I think if we do that, we solidified our defensive line, which is the first thing. The line, the trenches are still what wins games. So, and we've seen that in the playoffs so far this year. Coaching staff, I like the coaching staff. What they're doing is new. It's something different. I got to commend the front office and the coaching and Shotty for just allowing Shotty to go get guys instead of going getting these guys that you've heard of and that guys that that knows. Because what that does is when you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, where there's always somebody that's in the same frame that you are. You got to cast a wide net, which I think they casted a net that was wider than what they used to, not as wide as it should have been, right? Because I would love to see Flores come in. But they did cast a net, and they caught different fish. So we'll see how this thing works out. You can't be caught in the same little way of operation, especially if it's not working. So when those things are not working, you got to change something. So they did change some things. So we'll just see how it goes. One of the things that Big Time talks about is that the Jerry and Stevens season starts in a little while. That's free agency. And right now, everything's going good, but it seems like when they get involved, things start devolving and going downhill. So we'll just see how they do with that. Hopefully, man, I've been telling people that we'll know it's a change if they can sign Pickens in a dignified manner and don't drag it through the mud and sullying up his reputation and all that kind of stuff, and go into free agency and get some guys that you can sign to a 3-year contract, not these 1-year rental guys, not these fourth week of free agency guys that's left over that's desperate for a job, not those guys. We need to go compete for guys out there. That if we see a safety out there that we want and there's going to be competition, hey, let's go compete for them. When I mean compete, we got to offer them more money. They've been reluctant to do that. So we got to, hey man, we all playing the same game. We all have the same rules. But it's some devices that we just refuse to use. And free agency is one of them. We got to use free agency, man. I mean, we got Minkah Fitzpatrick out there. That guy has to be looked at as, I'm honest, I want both our safeties gone. When was the last time one of our safeties made a defensive play? We see our cornerbacks getting beat, but you never see the safety around. Like, at some point in time, man, we need more athletic, more rangy guys out there. That's why I'm hoping Caleb Downs falls to us. But even if Downs falls to us, that doesn't mean that we still don't go attack the other position, right? So we just have to do some things on defense. We're doing good. We got a new coaching staff on defense. But we got to get the guy players too. We got to go evaluate those players and see, hey, where can we get better at? You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Cowboy Nation, it's been a short one. I think it's only been 20 minutes. It's been good to get on with y'all. I see I have 16 people watching at this point in time. Appreciate all y'all, man. And share, like, subscribe, do all those things, man, on Twitter, on YouTube also, man. Just try to send it out to some people that you might know or whatever. Just a quick little video, just some of my thoughts on Crosby and just a little bit what's going on with the team right now. Anyway, this is B-Bird Cowboy signing out.